Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayapataka Swami Maharaj.
The following is a lecture given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami on December 28, 1982 in New Orleans, Louisiana. The class begins with a reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 20, verse 5 and 6.
Translation with repetition. I do not fear hell.
I do not fear hell,
Poverty.
poverty,
An ocean of distress.
an ocean of distress.
Fall down from my position.
Fall down from my position,
Or even death itself.
or even death itself,
As much as I fear.
as much as I fear.
Cheating a Brahmana.
Cheating a Brahmana.
Text 6. Yad yad dhasyati lokesmin yad yad dhasyati lokesmin samparetang dhanadikam tasya tyage nimittam king viprastushena tena chet. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. My Lord, you can also see that all the material opulences of this world are certainly separated from their possessor at death. Therefore, if the Brahmana, Vamana Dev, is not satisfied by whatever gifts one has given, why not please him with the riches one is destined to lose at death? Translation with repetition. My Lord, you can also see
You can also see
that all the material opulences
that all the material opulences
of this world
of this world
are certainly separated
are certainly separated
from their possessor
from their possessor
at death.
at death.
Therefore,
Therefore,
if the Brahmana,
if the Brahmana,
Vamana Deva,
Vamana Deva,
is not satisfied
is not satisfied
by whatever gifts one has given,
by whatever gifts one has given,
why not please him
why not please him
with the riches
with the riches
one is destined to lose
one is destined to lose
at death?
at death?
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The word Vipra means Brahmana, and at the same time, confidential. Bali Maharaj had confidentially decided to give the gift to Lord Vamana Deva without discussion. But because such a decision would hurt the hearts of the Asuras and his spiritual master Sukracharya, he spoke equivocally. Bali Maharaj, as a pure devotee, had already decided to give all the land to Lord Vishnu. So, Bali Maharaj is telling his guru, so-called guru, family guru, that he can't follow his instruction, that he has to give the charity requested by Vamana Deva. Because Bali Maharaj is a pure devotee, he is determined to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is, of course, the most confidential decision and the most important decision that one can make in life. Once, of course, one makes a decision, then there should be no turning back. Bali Maharaj, once he made the decision, he didn't turn back. Even though Vamana Dev tested him by binding him up. Of course, in the end, Vamana Dev agreed to become the gatekeeper of Bali Maharaj. to have the Sudarshan Chakra protect his planet, and made the planet more opulent than even the heavenly kingdom, and allowed Indra to return back to his heavenly kingdom. And many of the demons were also, of course, they were all pushed back into the lower planetary system. Here, the determination of Bali Maharaj is being seen. Sometimes it happens, the parents may say, don't do it. Some friends may say, don't do it, don't surrender, don't be a devotee. But in any case, one has to take what is going to actually be beneficial for one's spiritual life. Once, actually this, in this Jeev Jago we sing, Enichio Shoti Maya Nashi Baro Lagi, Lao to me, Hari Nama Mahamantra, Lao to me Magi. That Lord Chaitanya is saying, I have brought the mercy, I have brought the medicine for the Kali Yuga. Just like nowadays, there's so many diseases in this Kali Yuga. And you hear on the radio, when we were driving to see the Sankirtan people in the malls, then they were advertising on the radio that for March of Dimes, for some kind of epilepsy, some kind of atrophy or something, muscular dystrophy or something. Then like about half a day, every 10 minutes, someone was going on that the new disease has come, kids are affected, this one's affected. Only your money can help. You have to send the money. You have to find the cure. You see. And then if somebody finds the cure, all the newspapers, radios will say, Dr. Schweinberg has found a cure for dilated, flagulated, dystrophies or something. And then everyone is very happy because that's a very serious disease. And, the cure has been found. Of course, materially the problem is that you've solved one disease and then again the radio comes on, there's a new disease just came up. So again send your money because now we've done this one but now there's this heart disease or this one. So there's no end to the diseases, it's just, one after another because people are not stopping their sinful activities. They have to get some disease or another. If they cure the existing ones, so nature will produce some new ones. Some of the diseases come from the very medicines they take. Actually, even the modern science now says that many of the diseases are coming from the hospitals. That hospitals are a place where there's concentrated diseased people. So that means you get all the germs together in one place. So the germs, when they get together, they produce new strains of disease that never existed. They don't exist outside of hospitals, and they only come from hospitals, and they're so powerful that there's no cure for them. Infections and things. Special strains that are produced in hospitals. Actually, one of our swamis was in a hospital. He had some kidney stone and tremendous pain. And he, says a devotee, wherever he is able to immediately pick up exactly what the situation is. Just like Prabhupada was once in a train and somebody asked him that, well, how many cars are there in the Punjab mail? He said 13. Exactly, he was on the train, he could know exactly how many, just by entering, immediately saw how many cars were on the train, how many conductors, just by being on there. All the crucial details. Anything that's visible, they pick it up. It's a symptom of devotee. This devotee could immediately see that people were dying like anything. It's a hospital. They go there, right? So when they die, it's kind of demoralizing for the other patients. So what they do is they have a special signal. And then all the doors shut, and they take the body, whisk it down the hall. That time they make sure there's no guest around. Because everybody thinks, they never see a dead body in the hospital, you never see one. They got a whole thing worked out that you don't see it. They're dying all the time. Most of the people go to the hospital and die. A few come out. or at least a very good percentage, that people die there. Most of the people that do die in the world, a lot of them die in hospitals. But you never see one when you're in there, because they have it all worked out so that you just don't see it. It's like people come in there and get healthy and go out, but you don't see the death. So this is the kind of situation. Actually, in the material world, there's so many diseases, but ultimately, of course, it always ends in death, sooner or later. And even you cure one disease, another one comes. So, when Lord Chaitanya said, Enechi osoti maya, nashi barolagi, I have brought the medicine for Maya. This medicine is such a medicine that it completely eradicates Maya. That means that with this medicine, you don't have to take any more medicine. This is like the Tennessee of Ponce de Leon. They put a stamp on one letter I got. He was looking for the fountain of youth. You see? Died of old age before he could find it. Anyway. The problem is that everyone's looking for that eternal youth. They're looking for that way of remaining permanently in this material body. Well, Lord Chaitanya has actually brought the medicine whereby one can achieve eternal life and one can completely eradicate all the miseries of Maya in the most sublime way. So actually they should definitely be having a stamp for him. Of course, we don't particularly want them to go smashing the stamp with their franchiser machine, but at least they should be glorifying him. Because he found the real fountain of youth. You see, eternal youth. Nava yovanam cha. So, when Lord Chaitanya said, Enechi osoti maya, I brought the medicine. You see. He should be getting all the Nobel Prizes. You just close up the whole shop and just give him the whole thing from now until eternity. Just put it right into his trust fund. Because he is 8 slokas Shikshastakam, the greatest literary work every year. Forget all the rest. And he's done the greatest medical. He found the cure for the birth, death, old age disease. So like that. Of course, you can also say any of his representatives have also done the same, Prabhupada. So what Lord Chaitanya brought this medicine, this is the once and for all medicine. You take this, you're cured. Alright, nothing else is required. So therefore, what is that medicine? Harinama Mahamantra. So Bhakti Vinod, he recommends you should loud to me magi. Magi means you beg or borrow. If somebody magging, that means that somehow or another he's getting it. By begging or borrowing, whatever, he's getting it. He's requesting, he's begging, please give. So one should beg the holy name. One should be so eager that somehow or another they're begging you, please give. And then, when Bhakti Vinod Thakur sings the next verse, that Bhakti Vinoda Prabhur means Prabhu means master, and when you put an R on the end of something in Bengali, it means the possessive. Prabhur means the possession of the what? Prabhu Charan. Charan means lotus feet. That I have taken the shelter of Prabhu's, of the Lord's lotus feet. Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu Charana Puri. I've fallen down actually. I've fallen and grabbed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Say Harinam mantra. That Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Loilo. Lao means you take, and loilo is past tense. It means I have taken. Magia, loilo magia. I have begged and received, taken that supreme medicine, that great medicine. You see. I don't know, whenever I hear that, I get the feeling, I imagine in America it would be the feeling of somebody that just stole a base. You see, someone that just made it home or something like that. They made the touchdown. I don't know, there's no equivalent, because there's always one more after it that has to be done. But this is like the final. This is the winning the marathon. That ends all the other marathons. You're home. You've reached it. You've begged the holy name from the Lord. He's given you shelter. Loilo. You've got that transcendental shelter. You see, so then, that finishes the whole material, what they call ganjam, the whole material mess. What to speak of repeated birth and death and all the other karma, jnana. It's simply, now you're in the eternal association of Krishna. You see, something to really be smug about, to be very satisfied about. But not in a personal way, but in appreciation that it's the mercy, you see, the mercy of the Lord. It's not that we deserved it particularly, you see, because there's no amount of deservedness or qualification one can accumulate that one can say, now I have enough to deserve getting that mercy of the Lord. But by the causeless mercy of the Lord, He can give it. Causeless meaning that ultimately it's His kindness, because there's no amount of anything we could accumulate that we could say that now we've earned it. You can become a Brahma by 100 births of following Varnashram Dharma perfectly to the T. You see, without the slightest mistake, if you have 100 births, perfect Varnashram Dharma, you can become Brahma. So you can earn it. Even then you need a little bit of mercy to be able to clear 100 births without a slip. It's no joke. But it's conceivable that, a person can actually earn it. But even you can be Brahma for 100 births. You can't say that I deserve now to get love for God. I deserve to get the shelter of the Lord. You see, no amount of material activities and even devotional services by the mercy, to get that ability to do devotional service, that's simply the mercy of the Lord. So Bali Maharaj, he's been offered actually this opportunity to do service. And everyone's telling him, don't do it, because they can't understand the value of it. They're telling him, don't do service, don't surrender, don't give up your possessions to this Brahmana. Why? Because he's God in disguise. Just see the fun. The Bali Maharaj, he's already decided. This is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. First of all, if you take him as a Brahmana, I already gave my word to him. Then he gives it that. I'm more afraid of cheating a Brahmana than I am on everything else, because who knows what's going to happen if I try to cheat a Brahmana. The reaction to that is so great. You know how the story about that one king who unknowingly gave away the cow twice, what happened to him? Can you imagine you've already given your word to a Brahman and you tell him, no, bug off. Get out of here. I'm not giving you. This is what Sukracharya told him to say. He says, no, I just was joking. I can't give you. I don't have any land. There's some scam, some kind of a put off. No, I can't give you. Some excuse. I'm very miserly, very poor. It's difficult for me today. Come back next week, to Vamana Day. Bali Maharaj wasn't that kind of person. He's going to lie face to face with the Lord. You see. Especially because it was admitted that this is actually not an ordinary Brahmana. You can tell by his effulgence, you can tell by his qualities, that this person is only the Supreme Person. That Sukracharya had done his intelligence. He knew that the mother of the demigods somehow or another got this blessing to have Krishna, Vishnu as her son. He said, Vishnu is always sides with the demigods, so watch out. You see, up to that point they're doing Vishnu worship. So this is like ordinary Brahmanas. They may do worship to Vishnu, but it's for their material upliftment, or it's for liberation. It's never pure devotion. But Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad, he's a pure devotee, so now he's being offered opportunity to do some service. He's not going to give it up. He just exposed the teachers, the guru, so-called guru, that he wasn't actually giving him the best spiritual advice. Materially he might be giving some advice, but spiritually it was not the best advice. So in the same way, One has to see. One may have parents, one may have so-called friends. They may advise one, oh, you shouldn't be a devotee because of this or that. You see. Even one's mind may sometimes distract and say, no, don't continue your devotional service. It's difficult for this or that reason. Whether or not to listen. The Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he wrote that poem Prabhupada repeatedly quoted to us, that Mon tumi kishe Vaishnava, dushta mon. You materialistic mind, what kind of Vaishnava are you? You're telling me to leave the devotees and do some kind of separate worship. You're trying to cheat me. Why you are saying these things? What type of a devotee are you to suggest such a horrible thing as to leave the society of devotees? Mine. Are you my friend or my enemy? The Bhagavad Gita said the uncontrolled mind is our worst enemy. And the controlled mind is our best friend. So we have to see, even our mind may become agitated and try to create some excuse. Oh, this devotee never looks at me with the right look in the eye. Or this week I lost my t-shirt, someone stole it, or something, Something the mind may get agitated, or little or big, whatever. Then we have to see that this is the uncontrolled mind trying to mislead me. This is my dushtamon, not my satmon. This dushta means naughty, materialistic, mischievous, trying to cheat us. We have to see that our mind does not take the counsel, or does not give counsel, which is going to take us out of that shelter of Lord Chaitanya's movement. Such a advice, posing as some kind of a spiritual mentor or master, which is advising us to give up the service of, give up the association of Krishna and his devotees, we have to reject. Just like Bali Maharaj did. No, this is not possible. This is the asauti to destroy Maya. You want me to again come under Maya, or to not leave Maya? No, we cannot accept. So, of course, and once one makes that decision, one should stick to it very carefully. If one achieves any kind of obstacle, then one should take that as an opportunity to rise above it. Just like when there's some mountain or some goal that has to be crossed, that forces a person to become more strong, to train up, to become more adept. Without any obstacles, then sometimes the devotee just doesn't increase. If a devotee is ever increasing, then it doesn't even recognize when obstacles come, doesn't even see them as obstacles, because already that devotee is building up more and more every day, that the obstacles they just passed automatically. When the devotee is stagnating, when devotee is not consciously trying to increase the devotional service, not consciously trying to surrender more and more, then when as in the road, in the path of progress, when an obstacle comes up, then it seems, oh, this is difficult to cross over. It's not difficult if we keep pushing ourselves all along to increase our service. These obstacles are not significant. But if we've been neglectful, then we come up to them. It's like when you come up to an exam and you haven't been attending the classes, you haven't been studying, then it seems, oh, this is very difficult. This exam is there. Now I have to cram and study and pass it. Right? But the students that go to class every day, read every week, keep up with their homework, when the exam comes, they don't even blink. It's not a big deal. It's the ones that spend all their time, in the, I don't know where they spend their time nowadays, but waste their time. They're not prepared for those exams. So these tests, you see, like marathons, or like when we're just in our daily life, when little things come up, and they seem bigger to us, because we're not prepared. So we have to prepare ourselves by chanting and by consciously, not just that automatically we just sit there and we're just, like some robot, we're chanting and doing our, no. We should make a conscious effort to apply our intelligence, apply our mind, apply our senses then we'll be able to easily cross over obstacles. If we're just kind of coasting along and going with the flow of all the devotees, and we're not really putting our mind, not trying to mentally surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, Mon mana bhavamad bhakto. You think of me, become my devotee. One has the first thing in Mon bhava. You put your mind to it. There's so many devotees have fallen away. Why, Prabhupada was asked? Why they have fallen? There seem to be senior people, older people. Why? He said that physically they were doing, but they never surrendered in their mind. They were just showing that they're going on, but their mind was somewhere else. Their mind, they never fully dedicated. That heart, soul, mind, they never put there at Krishna's lotus feet. Outwardly they were showing, but they always kept some kind of separatist attitude in the mind, even though it was not visible to anyone but the spiritual master. It was there. You know the story about the wedding party and crossing the river. They were rowing the whole night. In the morning they looked why the boat didn't leave the shore. The anchor was there. The anchor, you see, is putting our mind, actually concentrating how to become stronger and stronger in Krishna consciousness, how to improve on our service. Alright, just some obstacle, how to rise above that, how to fix our mind on Krishna, not thinking that there's any alternative. But isn't there a story in the Bible about Ruth or something, one lady that was told, you can leave and you can survive this sinful city, but if you look back, you turn into a pillar of salt or something, or you'll die. Don't look back. You see, but even after she's going, they're all sinful people there. They're all completely in Maya, you see. But then she was so attached, she looked back, what's happening? She turned into salt. Okay, so, when one surrenders to Krishna, one shouldn't look back. Well, what about missing out on this sense gratification, or maybe this, or any thought like that comes, you slap down your mind. What is this, you dushtumon? What type of devotee are you? You're trying to cheat me again. You're trying to, again, remind me of things which I've already given up, things which I've already rejected. Then if we train the mind like that and get the mind habituated to sitting there at the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna, what happens is then the mind gets its filth wiped away, and then you can actually start to get a taste for devotional service, and then the mind very easily stays with Krishna. See, we have to concentrate in the beginning until we get a taste. After that, the concentration comes easily. Just like when we have a big feast in front of you, it doesn't take a lot of effort to concentrate on it. Right? The taste is there. If you're sick, if you got some bad, pyorrhea, or you got some stomach or liver problem, you put a big feast. You don't have any appetite. You can't. No interest in it. So, why we don't have an appetite sometime for Krishna consciousness? Because we're diseased. So we have to concentrate to get out of the disease condition. We can go on just mechanically, it'll just take longer, that's all. And the danger is that the mind may distract us. So therefore we're supposed to concentrate. We're supposed to put our mind to it. Mon mana bhavavat bhakto. Put our mind to being a devotee of Krishna. Mon mana bhavavat bhakto madhyaji. To worship Krishna, serve Him, engage. What's the best worship is Harinam Sankirtan. It's the best worship. He said that of all the sacrifices I am japa, I'm chanting the holy names. And of course, even greater than japa, everyone knows, is Sankirtan. Cooperatively glorifying the Lord's holy name. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. And we do it not in some kind of, false pride, but namaskuru, in a humble way. We bow down to Him. We surrender to the Lord. We offer Him our obeisances. We take the shelter that He's offering, and with that we engage our mind, we be His devotee, and we glorify Him, we worship Him. This creates all good fortune for everyone. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Lingam